Hi everybody, welcome back to another episode of our Dungeon Boss Epic Review series. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Grog Gnog Epic and what that can do for you. But before we get into that, we do have the Winter Vest giveaway to announce. Today is New Year's Eve. That was when I said I was going to announce the winner. So here we are. When I initially set up the contest, I told you all to pick a number. The number itself didn't really mean anything. It's going to set up a new sort that I did instead of just having you be either first on the list or last on the list. Some people are kind of anal in terms of number generators and think that if you're on one of the outskirts, like early or late, you don't have as good a chance of winning. That's not really true, but the number you picked is going to dictate where you are in the new sort, and then we're going to do a random generator to determine our winner. So as far as some honorable mentions, nobody PI had the largest number picked. A bunch of people picked pi. Emily Rose was the only person that picked a phone number format. A couple of people picked the number E. Nick has my favorite entry, 8675309. That was my favorite. And then a lot of random numbers in between. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up a new sort here. I'm just going to sort based on the column here. Remember, it doesn't matter what you picked. You had complete control over where this was going to fall. So we're going to go A to Z, and here's our new sort order. We did have a few people pick negative numbers. That's perfectly fine. But here's how we're going to do it. We're going to do a random between, and we're going to pick between 1 and 301, which was our entry here. Now, don't be fooled by this 206 here. I'm not. That's not the winner just yet. So sorry if you're number 206, but that's not going to be the case. So once we hit enter, the winner is number 110. 110 on this list is Mr. Titan ZX with the number 54. So congratulations to Titan ZX. You can now reach out to me on YouTube. We'll arrange your prize and you can get the $100 gift card of your choosing. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the Grog Gnog Epic review and see what that can do for you. So here we are with the Grog Gnog Epic now. Notice I have not unlocked it, which is sort of surprising that I've won as many PvP defenses that I have without having this unlocked yet. I think Grog Gnog's Epic is only going to make him more viable in PvP. Aside from Solaris, he may very well be the most important beast, if not one of the most important heroes in the entire game, just because of his extreme durability and versatility. So first things first, let's go ahead and unlock the Epic and see what we're going to get. Truth be told, I've already seen what the Epic actually looks like. Basically, I was preparing for the horrible fists like Stone Fist and Igorok as far as gauntlets go. As far as this character model, there wasn't much you could do with it. Honestly, I would have liked to see something with his little horns and such. But basically just gave him some armor, which personally I think is a little bit weak sauce. I guess it did make his horns blue, but I thought we could have did quite a bit more here. In fact, even the gauntlets probably would have been a better option, but that's okay. We're not really here for the character models. We're here for the actual stats themselves. Now, in a wise move, in my opinion, they did make Grog Gnog's Epic sort of a, I call it kind of a nerf Epic, similar to what we saw with Cobalt, where they didn't make it too outlandish, where the stats and stuff are going to be like Shade, where everything just makes him 10 times better. Had we saw a 30% attack on Grog Gnog, that would have been some pretty hardcore stuff. So I think they went the right direction and made some of the lesser stats available here for the Epic instead of just beefing up his attack. So he gets a bonus to skill, defense, and max health. Now, historically speaking, skill has always been capped at 20% on the epics, at least from the ones that I've documented so far. I've not seen a 30% skill, but I don't know that I've seen a skill as the first one as well. Usually the first stat is also 30%. We'll see this when we actually start upgrading it. Defense being the second skill, I'm expecting this one to be a 20% defense buff, and the max health I'm also expecting to be 20% as well. So let's throw a couple of upgrades on there to start with. I'm going to stop at that point there. I'm not going to run this dungeon just to get the next part, but you'll get the point here. Looking at the skill so far, we're at Epic 5. It's going to go 2%. Up to 10. I believe this is going to max out at 30% skill. That's just speculation at this point. I have not looked at the stats, but I do believe it's going to be a 30%. So what does this mean as far as the Grog Gnog Epic? So first of all, let's look at the effect. The effect is +% to do 3 more random attacks. So his normal attack is to do 2 attacks, and now when his epic triggers, he's going to do 3 attacks, which is going to be 5 total attacks. We've already gotten confirmation from devs that the bonus attacks that he gets is not subjected to Pygnius's Hog Wild attack. So unfortunately, we don't get the chance for every one of those 5 to also trigger a second attack, so he's not going to do up to 10 attacks, which is unfortunate, but it's also kind of expected that way as well. Devs have mentioned that they reserve the right to make his epic more epic in the future if needed, but I think as far as the Hog Wild attack, they've kind of cut that off as far as epics triggering on the Hog Wild attack. I don't think that's coming back anytime soon. I don't know why they removed it in the first place. Whatever that reason was is likely significant enough that they're not going to bring it actually back. So looking at Grog Gnog's epic, we have skill, defense, and max health. That suggests that his base loadout is going to be heavily defensive, and when we get the combat revamp, I think that's going to be doubly so. It's going to make him very, very durable. So what does that mean in terms of what can we actually do with him as far as rune loadout? For rune loadout, I'm going to basically take a quick sidebar here. To determine what you want to do with runes, first thing you should probably do is just take off your runes to start with. You kind of want to see where he lies without any type of runes so that you don't end up wasting too much. Because he has a huge bonus to skill as part of his epic, you don't want to waste too much skill in setting up your runes here. Not saying that if people are going to stack skill runes on Grog Gnog, it's not a bad idea to throw a couple of little bits of skill on there, but it's certainly not going to be required because of his base stats now. So looking at base stats with an epic level 5, he has a pretty high attack, he's got a good defense, he's got a very high health pool, and his crit chance is 23%. More important than that, though, what I want to draw your attention to in terms of how you're going to set up your runes and how you're going to really utilize this epic is the large and in charge. So beast allies get 30% attack and ogres 30%, health 30% for beasts and attack for ogres. What this means is Grog Gnog is an ogre, so don't forget about that. If we look at his attack, right now he's getting 32%. That's with no extra bonus to the skill. So this large and in charge, when we get this skill here, when we start bumping this up with the epic, if this gets up to 30%, it's not a stretch to think that this large and in charge may inch closer and closer to possibly 34 or 35%. That's nice when you're talking about skill-based upgrades. In addition, the health pool is also going to benefit from that same area. And not only does this large and in charge impact Grog Gnog, but also when we do this with Kozar, for example. If you give Kozar those extra boosts for his the bigger they are trait, this extra little passive here is going to help Kozar as well. If you tend to use Grog Gnog and Kozar, I don't think too many people are using that right now. I still see some PvP defenses that have Grog Gnog Kozar, but it's certainly not common anymore. Once we get another ogre hero, I can see those guys having some really high synergy between each other. So how do we want to rune him out? I guess we could consider this to be sort of a rune theory as well. Grog Gnog in general is fairly defensive, and his epic just couples that. So what I would suggest as far as Grog Gnog goes is actually a fair bit of balance. As far as his runes go, the red and the purple, you should pump those up with the hardcore attack runes, those power runes, or those legendary superior PvP runes. I think those are the best 2 options for this one. As far as the yellow rune, you can never really go wrong with the electric skin rune. Otherwise, any type of bulwark, but this one here is probably one of my favorite runes in the entire game. I do recommend this on Grog Gnog. If you do have that precision rune, the attack, and damage, this one here is just going to make him even more powerful. That's not a bad one to put on here as well. As far as the 2 blue runes, this one here is really up to you. We have 2 of them to use. You really should be using the, where is it? I guess I don't have it on him anymore. The, there it is, Survivor Rune. Starting with Cleansing Regeneration. You want Grog Gnog to survive. Cleansing Regeneration is going to be a good way to do it. We get defense, health, defense, which is just going to make him more viable as well. Pair that with his epic, and he's going to be heavily defensive. Your second one, there was an old school, I don't know who has it. I think Yasmin has it. If you have any interest of putting skill on someone, I guess Yasmin doesn't have it. Sorry, stand by. I just gotta look for these blue legendaries. Nope. Alright, so I don't know where it is, but there was a blue legendary that had some skill bonus. There's like crit and skill, and I think crit again. I'm not sure where it is. I'm not gonna dwell on it. Maybe I put it on Julius. I don't know why, but maybe I did. Nope, that's junk. Alright, so ignore that for now. But your second rune on Grog Gnog is really up to you. Personally, one of the best PvP runes out there you can get. Oh, it was right there. I just didn't have it equipped. Skill, damage reduction, and damage reduction again. So this is one that I used to have on Yasmin when I would use her in PvP. But so using extra skill, that skill is going to bump up his other stats. So I'm going to put this one on him. I'm going to put my Survivor rune on him. We're going to put Incineration. The reason I put this one on here is it's got double attack plus crit, plus it's got the Burning Touch, which I like quite a bit. We're going to put our Electric Skin on this one. And then his Dark rune. Just going to pick whatever superior I have left. Defense, health, and the life steal. This is actually the current season's rune. I'll go ahead and put that on here to make him a little bit more defensive. And then we can look at his overall stats to finish out. So 4,000 attack for a defensive hero is actually pretty impressive. Defense is almost 4,000. Skill is 2,300, which is good. And his max health is 10,000 plus. And just by adding powerhouse runes, our crit chance bumps up to 45%. For all intents and purposes, that's basically 50%. So we're pretty much at cap there. What we wanted to see, we didn't stack a ton of skill on here, but his we wanted to see this large and in charge and see how much extra percent we got. We got it at 34%, like I said. So like I said, if you stack some extra skill, you can get this an extra 5%, get this up to 35%, which is pretty helpful. That extra 5% when paired with Kozar is going to help him quite a bit as far as his attack goes. The rest of the stuff, not really overly concerned. He does have some damage reduction on here. So 6, 11, and 6, which is pretty good. That's going to reduce incoming damage on him. It's going to make him more and more durable. Keep in mind, we do still have 6 or 7 epic levels to go before this is maxed out. So that's going to add more skill, more defense, and more max health. It's going to make him a very formidable opponent, particularly when combat revamp drops, because we're going to see health pool matter a lot more than what it does now. I don't expect to see Grog Gnogs to ever get one shot ever again. I've not seen an epic Grog Gnog get one shot since its drop. So hopefully this gives you a little bit of insight in terms of how you want to use the Grog Gnog epic. Personally, I think setting him up on all defensive is definitely a good way to go. It will keep him alive for those long drawn-out PvP fights. If you want to throw some attack in there, certainly not a bad idea to do so. I think pretty much any way you ruin Grog Gnog, he's going to be pretty brutal. I don't think there's going to be any one person that could really absolutely dominate him, except for maybe a well-ruined Viperia with snakes on the plane. That might be one of the only things that could take him down. But with 10,000 plus health, I don't even know if that's going to happen. Anyways, that's going to wrap up this video. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to leave them below. And as always, we will see you again next time. Thanks. Thank you so much for watching this video and supporting my channel. If you like this video, please show your continued support by hitting that like button, and be sure to check out both my YouTube channels for new content all the time. And always remember, peace is a lie, there's only passion. We'll see you next time.